The Arizona podcast is brought to you by Triumph Protective Coatings, a flooring company that specializes in epoxy flooring and concrete resurfacing systems. They speak Spanish, they're in the LA area, and they are an amazing company to work with. They have awesome customer service and they give you honest quotes with great work, and I couldn't recommend them enough. So if you use the promo code ArrowsUp, you get a 15% off on your next project. So call them, reach out to them. You can find them at on the internet, triumphcoatingsca.com, and you can request a free quote and all that fun stuff. You can follow them on Instagram, triumph_coatings, and they do speak Spanish and they do great work, like I said. So check them out. Promo code ArrowsUp, 15% off your next project. Welcome to the Arrows Up podcast. On this episode, basketball. It's back tonight. Lakers play tonight. And that's what I got for you. Basketball, more basketball. You haven't been watching? I got you. I'm talking basketball. You've been watching? Cool. I got you. I'm talking basketball. You want to get ready because you watch post All-Star break? Awesome. More. I have basketball. What I won't have for you is an All-Star game thoughts. Don't watch it. I don't watch it. Have no thoughts on it. It is what it is. If you watch it and you like to get pissed, yeah, that's not me, man. So anyway, besides that, you like basketball? I'm talking basketball. So that's it. Enjoy the pod. Here we go. Welcome to the Arizona podcast, NBA edition, because the NBA just had their NBA All-Star break and the NBA comes back tomorrow. And so I wanted to do a NBA pod where we get into just all things NBA and what it's going to look like for us to understand the second half of the season. By the time you hear this, the Lakers would have played their first game back versus the Hornets as part of the makeup games of the LA Fires that postponed a few games. And so as we get into the second half, I'm not going to do one of those All-Star game and complain about the All-Star game. I'm not going to do one of those. I'm not going to talk about that. The All-Star game is for little kids and for corporate sponsors. And if you're watching the All-Star game to get pissed, that's kind of on you, because if you're watching that to get upset, then I don't know what to tell you. And so that's where I land. I don't think that we should judge the All-Star game. And also, I don't think we should be having this conversation about how to fix it. There is no fixing it. Because the only real fix to this All-Star game is competitive. It's a competitive attitude. It's competitive spirit that every player needs to play with. And if you want to throw money at it, I don't think that's the answer. These guys have a lot of money. If you want to create tournaments and different formats and one-on-ones, and Shaq gets a team and Candace gets a team and Charles Barkley gets a team, maybe next year you can get Reggie Miller. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who has a team, who's picking, whether you get the players that are picking, the fan. It doesn't matter. You can get the Team USA versus Team World. It doesn't matter. What's going to fix this is a competitive nature to this game that's missing. And that's the only way to fix it. And that's it. So, moving on. Heading into the second half of the season, we're going to start in the East, and one of the things we've seen over the first half of the season is the Cavaliers find themselves with the best record in the entire Eastern Conference. They're tied with the Thunder for the best record in all of basketball at 44-10. And so what we're going to have is this chase for the number one seed. Because if you're Cleveland, you want that number one seed. You want to host the Game 7 on your home court. You want to be able to be the one that has home court advantage throughout the playoffs. You want to host the Celtics on your home court. And so one of the things that the trade deadline did for Cleveland, and Cleveland is the sneaky winner of the trade deadline, and I know that Luka got all the headlines and the Lakers, and honestly, rightfully so. But one of the things we saw in the trade deadline by the Cleveland Cavaliers, I can't talk right now. One of the things we saw was their addition was spectacular in terms of getting DeAndre Hunter. And they got DeAndre Hunter from the Hawks, who the Hawks didn't want to pay for the rest of his contract. They get rid of Karis LeVert, George Niang, 3 second-round picks, and you do all that, and you bring in DeAndre Hunter, who's having a good season with the Hawks, and you bring him in, and what that allows you to do, that gives you an extra body to throw at the Celtics. You make that trade specifically for a matchup for when you play the Celtics. There's no other reason for why that trade is done by Cleveland. And what that trade told everyone was that these guys were all in. These guys were in this mode of winning now. And DeAndre Hunter has had a really good season. And that 6'8", he brings the length, he brings athleticism, scoring ability that you need in the playoffs. You could never have enough scoring in the playoffs, and DeAndre Hunter brings that over to Cleveland. And so, but again, you make that trade specifically to play against the Boston Celtics. And so Cleveland will now be chasing the first seed. Boston is on their heels, and Boston, for everything that that has been said about the Celtics, nobody's liked how they looked. They've have kind of been struggling as of late. They've won 8 of 10. They are playing as good of basketball as you can play. The thing is, the Celtics last year were killing teams. They were dismantling and winning in blowout fashion, game after game after game. And so the way we thought about the Celtics was very different, because we thought of the Celtics as this world beater team that was going to just smash anybody in front of them. This year, the chip has been taken off their shoulder because, well, they won the title. And when you win the title, you're not as hungry. And the Celtics have found themselves in this position where they're not as hungry as they used to be because they won. And so all the baggage that you carry when you're still trying to prove what everyone's saying, I don't know, Tatum's good enough. Should we split up Brown and Tatum? And all these things, all the criticism that Joe Mazzulla got. When all these things are being said and all these things are being thrown at you, and you win the title, well, that kind of goes away. And even though there's criticism of how the Celtics have been sloppy, the Celtics don't have that killer instinct, on and off switch, yada, 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 Jason Tatum has been amazing this season. He's taken a step up. The reason why the Celtics are not as, what should we say? The reason why the Celtics are not as good, if we can say that, the reason for that is because Jaylen Brown has taken a dip this year. Jaylen Brown is not the Jaylen Brown of last year. Last year, Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP. Last year, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were 1A and 1B. They were equal. This season, it is very clear that Jason Tatum is the best player on that team. And if you're going to play and make a run, if the Celtics are going to make a run, Jaylen Brown needs to make his way up the ladder of the best players and get right there with oh my god, I'm so blanking. He's gonna have to get right there with Jason Tatum, because if he's gonna get there right there with Jason Tatum, the Celtics become the same beast that they were a year ago. And so that's gonna be the question: can the Celtics get there again? Now, this year, Jrue Holiday's a year older, and he looks every bit of it. Derek White isn't hitting at the same clip. Now, Payne Pritchard is playing good basketball, and he has developed into a really lethal weapon off the bench for the Celtics. But it's going to come down to Jaylen Brown. Porzingis is still offering this very similar levels when he's playing. But it's a different team because the hunger isn't there anymore. Jrue Holiday was coming off of getting traded, and he won the title and he got paid. And it's just really hard to make up urgency. It's really hard to make up to build a chip on your shoulder, which it's why in the East it's that's what you almost are looking for. Who has that chip on their shoulder? Who's able to rise up, and who's going to be able to rise up the ranks and overtake the Celtics? Because it's going to take the extra motivation besides talent to beat the Celtics. Because I think top to bottom, the Celtics are the best team in the East. I know that Cleveland has been playing well. I know that Cleveland has the better record. I get that. But in a 7-game series, I still think the Celtics are the best team in the East. And I don't think I'm saying anything that's surprising, to be honest with you. And so the key is going to be, can the Celtics get the hunger, the chip on their shoulder as we head down the playoffs? And can somebody have a bigger chip on their shoulder in the East to take them down? Now, the Knicks find themselves in a position where they are a talented team. They're not a deep team, but they're a talented team that I think they're gonna get the fate of every single Tibbs teams before them, and they're gonna get run into the ground in the playoffs and run out of gas. As fun as the Knicks can be, and as fun as it is to watch them, and as fun as it is to see Madison Square Garden go crazy over this team, Tibbs is not the guy for a championship caliber team, because Tibbs just runs every single team into the ground. There is extremes of like Popovich, who will sit players and who will rest players too much, and the other extreme is Thibodeau, who will run guys into the ground and it just doesn't work. And once you get to the playoffs, these guys are too beat up to even last a whole series, let alone the entire playoff run. So I think that's fool's gold. The Bucks find themselves in a position where they got Kyle Kuzma, and it's relying on Giannis, and they're going to go as far as Giannis can carry them. Dame is okay, and he's, still Dame, kind of. But this team is going to go as far as Giannis can take them. Their weaknesses are still their weaknesses in terms of defense and in terms of the inability to hide Dame. And ultimately we can talk about Doc, and we can talk about Dame and what he can do in the playoffs, and Brook Lopez and Portis, and just how Taurean Prince has had a really good season shooting the ball. And we can talk about all of that. It's going to come down to, can Giannis stay healthy down the stretch? And if he can stay healthy and he can carry them, we might see the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. If he can't, the Bucks will have an early exit. There's two teams that I have a soft spot in the Eastern Conference for. The Pistons is one. They are competitive. They're the 6th seed as it stands right now. Cade Cunningham has been that guy. Thompson has been just every bit as good as the projections said he was going to be. And Tobias Harris, who in Philly, when he was asked to do a lot, sucked. In Detroit, he's been just a perfect fit. You know who needs Tobias Harris right now? Philadelphia. Detroit is your number 6 seed, and I like that for them. The Magic is another team that I have a soft spot for them. They just can't stay healthy. Paulo Banchero came back recently, but it's a team that has enough scoring if they're going to get Franz Wagner just back and running. The Jalen Suggs injury is not, doesn't help them, and he's still out from the quad injury, and that's a big loss for them. But overall, they have Paulo, they have Franz, and one of the things that we see from this team is that if they're able to get Paulo to kind of revert back to who he was the first year, 18 games of the year before he got hurt, then all of a sudden there's going to be they're going to have a really good chance of moving up the standings, because they're only 3 games behind the Pacers out that 4 seed. From that point forward, and then the Pacers are right in the mix with everybody else. From that point forward, 8 all the way to, we'll make the cutoff the Sixers, I guess. Even though the Nets are really well coached. Raptors, Hornets, Wizards are all playing for Cooper Flag, so they're out. 8 to 12, that's for the playing game. And you know what they should do? The NBA should make it to where the playing game, you're playing for the 8th seed, not the 7th seed. I think it should be where you're playing the 9-10 they play each other, 1 game elimination. Loser plays the 8th seed, or winner plays the 8th seed, and the winner of that makes the playoffs. Now, I would get rid of the play-in tournament altogether. I think that's stupid. What's the point of playing 82 games if you're going to have a playing game? But anyway, if you want to keep the playing game just for extra revenue, whatever, make the 7th seed a locked in playoff position. And in the East, you have, I think, the Magic are right now the 7th seed, but you have the Hawks, the Heat, the Bulls, and the Sixers, and the Nets, technically, all competing for, what is it, 1, 2, 3. Well, I think it's the 7th seed. It's either going to go to the Magic or the Pistons. I don't think they're going to get caught. But you got so for 3 spots, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. And the Sixers find themselves in a position where it came out that Joel Embiid might need surgery on his knee. I would shut it down if you're the Sixers. Shut it down. Bring him back next season. Chances are he'll never be able to play again consistently and be the guy that you think he can be. The guy that kept saying that, this year is all about winning the finals. I don't think that guy will amount to that. Paul George has been a disaster for them. Maxi's the only one there that's worth anything. So if you're the Sixers, I think you have to, and Jared McCain, who's hurt, but if you're the Sixers, you almost want to shut it down. The Nets, if I'm the Nets, I go for it. I don't think you're going to get much. I don't think you're going to go far anyway, but I think it creates a good culture for the Nets if you're able to go for it and chase it, because they have a good coach. And why not? We make the playoffs. That's great. That's awesome. So I think they should go for it. The Bulls find themselves perpetually in the middle ground, mediocre, and they're okay with that. Is there something in the water in Chicago? Why is it that the Bulls and the Cubs and the White Sox find themselves just okay with sucking, okay with being to call the White Sox mediocre would be a great compliment. So I'm not going to do that. But the Cubs and the Bulls find themselves okay with just being stagnant and kind of like, hey, remember our good old days? What the hell is going on in Chicago? What's going on? What's in the water there? What are the billionaires drinking there that makes them not want to invest in their teams when they're in the third largest market in the entire United States? Don't get it. The Heat had a big old fight with Jimmy Butler, traded him to the Warriors, and now they are a team with a really good coach with players. The average team, and they'll make the plan and get eliminated in the first round, and that'll be it. And that's it. That's that's where the Heat find themselves. So that's the Eastern Conference in a nutshell. Let's go to the West. Yeah, let's go to the West. Teams I won't be talking about: Jazz, Pelicans, Trailblazers. Even though the Blazers have been playing pretty good as of late. But yeah, I'm not talking about the Jazz, Pelicans, Blazers. But Blazers playing really good basketball as of late. Anyway, I'll start from the bottom up. Spurs. The Spurs should go for it. The Spurs should attempt to end with the good of a record as you could possibly end. And the problem is I don't think they will. I think the Spurs are going to tank. They're going to find ways to sit out Wemby. I don't know why you would trade for Fox this season if all you're going to do is tank or secretly tank. Don't get it, but I think that's what they're going to do. The Suns are a mess. They're a gigantic mess. And I'm talking about the Spurs, the Suns, and the Warriors, and the Kings, and the Mavericks, because they're all in that realm of, playing tournaments. But the Suns are a mess. They're probably going to trade Booker. No, Durant, sorry. In the offseason. They should probably trade Booker too, because free Booker, man. God, that guy is just in an awful situation there. And I feel the worst for him. And yeah, so Phoenix is a complete mess. Complete and utter mess. The Warriors. Draymond is saying that they're going to win a title. 2K, maybe. And one of the things that we see is that even Jimmy Butler is saying that. They have Jimmy Butler, who has found his basketball joy again. How long is it going to be there? Who knows? But he's playing with Steph Curry, who I think won't find All-Star Game MVP. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. But he won it. So congratulations, Steph Curry. And so the Warriors find themselves in a position where I think they're going to go up. I think they're going to play better. I think they're going to end up with a better record than like the Kings and the Mavs, the Clippers, the T-Wolves. I think they're going to climb because Jimmy Butler, as much as I'm not a big fan of his antics, he is a really good basketball player. And because he's a really good basketball player, he's going to just make them better, especially because he's incentivized strictly out of spite to just stick it to the Heat and Pat Riley. And if the Heat get eliminated in round one and the Warriors make a deep run, you know Jimmy Butler is going to say something. The worst thing that can happen to Jimmy is they both teams end up in the playing game. They both get eliminated. So I'm gonna put some money on Jimmy Butler's spite, and I think the Warriors are gonna play better and climb up. The Sacramento Kings with Doug Christie as their coach started off hot. They haven't been so hot lately. Average, actually. And the De'Aaron Fox trade kind of just ended their season. You wonder what they're going to do in the offseason. This is a team that you look at their roster and you just think, like, dude, like, where's the hope? Keegan Murray, I know he's good, but doesn't really move the needle. Sabonis? I don't know, man. It's just a team it's not a fun team. It's not a fun team to look at or cheer for. And so the Kings find themselves in a weird spot, you know? And so they're probably going to have to tank. They got Levine, but the roster, you know, it's a weird roster. You got Levine and DeRozan, which they're like the Bulls. The Bulls of the West. Just okay with just being in the middle. I don't get it. I don't understand. Anyway, Mavericks, led by the stupidest GM in basketball history. Shout out to Nico Harris, Laker legend. Look, they are going to be out without AD for a while, and Mavs fans are going to have to, you know, deal with the fact that Luka's not on your team anymore. Max Christie's fun, but he is not Luka. I just don't know where the Mavs go from here, because the whole thing that we were sold was that with AD, this team is better positioned than the Lakers to make a run. And we find ourselves, they find themselves without AD for the foreseeable future. So we'll see what that even means. They might even drop out of this entire thing altogether. Not great. The T-Wolves have been a weird team to look at. They are coming off of a Western Conference Finals appearance, and we thought, okay, this is the year they're going to make a jump, and then they trade Towns. And they just haven't been the same. They haven't gelled. They haven't been able to be consistent. They are a team that should be a lot better than what they are, but they're not. And I don't know why. I watch their games and I don't get it. And a lot of it is, probably Randall, who is just not fun to play with and who is playing because he wants to get paid and he wants a long contract. So therefore he's playing like it and he isn't necessarily concerned with team basketball as long as he's winning. And Anthony Edwards, as much as I think he's amazing and as much as I like him, it just doesn't seem like he's ready to be the guy. I thought it was interesting that he said over the All-Star break that Wemby was going to be the next face of the NBA. And I thought it was interesting because for everything we've been told about Anthony Edwards is that he is super competitive, super charming. And I would have thought he would have said, I'm the face. It's me. It's going to be my league. And I thought it was interesting that he deferred. Don't like that. I wanted him to be, if I'm a T-Wolves fan, I wanted him to answer that with just more arrogance. I'm the next face of the league. Once LeBron and KD and Steph leave, it's my league. And he said it was, and he deferred to Wemby, which I thought was weird. Which then launched a weird conversation about just how foreigners can't be the face of the league. And we all kind of ignored it and we're okay with it because the guys arguing about it were black guys talking about how the NBA the face of the NBA can only be a black American player, which is a weird thing because this is the very thing that we were arguing against in the 70s, where there was a stigma where the NBA was too black, and now some of these reporters are saying, well, we can't have a foreigner be the face. It has to be a black American. And obviously they didn't say black American, but they didn't have to say it because we knew what they were saying. The same way that back in the day they didn't say the league is too black. They didn't have to say it. We knew what they were saying. And so it's just weird, reverse racism. It's the way it is in America. Anyway, so yeah. The T-Wolves, a weird team. They get to the Western Conference Finals, and they have had that hanging over them. And next year, probably they'll be amazing again. Just the way it goes sometimes. The Clippers, who have played way, way, way above what anybody thought they were going to do. Norman Powell has been amazing. He should have been an all-star. LeBron, you selfish guy, man. Norman Powell should have played in the all-star game. You don't want to play? Tell us. Shout out to Norman Powell, man. But the Clippers have been playing decent basketball. They played a really good stretch to start the year, and now they are kind of just hovering above 500 in terms of their overall play. But they had such a good start. They banked so many victories in the beginning of the year. They're kind of in good position, which is what the Lakers did as well. But the Clippers find themselves in a good spot. Can they keep it up? I don't think so. I think we're going to start to see them kind of just decline and fall. But they're a really well-coached team. And I wouldn't be surprised if they keep this level of play. But I can see either way. And I think they're going to go the other way. The Lakers, with Luka, LeBron coming off of his making the All-Star game by himself. I don't understand. If he's not going to play, why was he allowed to take pictures? I don't get it. Adam Silver, I can't stand Adam Silver. I think he's the worst commissioner in sports because he doesn't make the game better. The game has gotten worse under him. He just wants to be friends with all these players. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't accept it. Anyway. The Lakers. JJ Redick said chances are that Luka is not going to be on a minutes restriction. He's good to go. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see how much LeBron plays, because you would figure if he's going to not play in the All-Star game to sell the fact that he actually needs to rest. He probably doesn't play tonight. One of the things to watch versus the game tonight is the trade that didn't happen. Dalton Knecht, who didn't get traded to the Hornets, and Mark Williams, who didn't get traded to the Lakers. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of all shakes out and how the league decides to address that. But as we go into the last part of the season, I want to see how the Lakers play with Luka, how they are able to adjust to him, how he's able to adjust to them, and how they're able to gel together. And if they're going to be able to make a run, this is obviously where we're going to learn about it. And the one thing I'm going to be looking for is just how JJ Redick manages on the defensive side. What's going to happen? How is he going to hide? What kind of game plan are the Lakers going to have as on defense? On offense, the Lakers are going to be fine. Defense is going to be the question there. And what are they going to do at the 5? I know that we got Alex Len, but what happens there? Is that the answer? Is that who we're going to get? Because I don't think that's enough. The Rockets. Playing bad basketball, struggling. It's a young team that's struggling, that's playing above their experience, not their talent. They're a very talented team, but above their experience. But they're playing good basketball, and they've kind of ran into a wall a little bit. And I think they're going to stabilize it. They have a good enough coach in Udoka to kind of stabilize this whole thing. But I do question if they're going to be able to withhold the 4 seed. And if you're the Lakers, if you're the Clippers, you're aiming, you're chasing, you're the T-Wolves. You're aiming for the 4 seed. You want to be right there to have at least home court advantage in one of the playoff rounds. Right now, what separates the Rockets, the Lakers, the Clippers, the T-Wolves, and the Mavs, 4 games. The Lakers by 2, Clippers by 3, T-Wolves by 3, Mavericks by 4. So they're all right there. The Nuggets, 36-19. Jokic has been playing out of his mind. They've won 8 straight. They're probably the hottest team in basketball right now. They're playing really good basketball. Jokic is playing at it's weird to say all-time level because he's won 3 MVPs and he's playing phenomenal. But it's an all-time level. And if it wasn't because the Thunder are 44-10, Jokic might be on the road to get another MVP. He's the best player in basketball. No argument. And they're playing good basketball. The Grizzlies that came out this weekend that sources believe that Ja might get traded. And some people said it's the second apron. The second apron's causing this. It might just be that they're tired of Ja's antics. It just might be that. Because if a guy is worth paying like Ja, then you pay him. But if his antics are not worth paying, then you don't pay him and you get rid of him. And he becomes too big of a headache. And Ja doesn't play enough. He misses random games. It's getting to a point where you're almost more surprised when he plays than when he doesn't. But they're playing good basketball. And Jaren Jackson has been phenomenal. And they're a good team. The Thunder, best team in basketball. Yes, I'll say that. Best team in basketball. They'll get Chet Holmgren. And they have the MVP as of now. And they're playing the best ball. Does that mean, do I think that they are the best team in all of basketball? They're going to make the finals. I think if they run into the Lakers or the Nuggets, I think they're cooked. Anybody else, I think they win. That's what I think. So, to summarize, where we're at with the NBA as we jump back into it tonight, the Thunder and the Cavs lead, and they're playing good basketball, and they're the best teams in their respective conferences. The Celtics, the Nuggets, are the two proven teams that are the most dangerous teams in both conferences. And if I had to put money today, who's going to face in the finals, I'd say Nuggets, Celtics. The Lakers find themselves with a bullet, a possible golden bullet, if everything gels and Luka is able to carry them all the way. The same, what I said about the Celtics, about the chip, not having a chip on their shoulder, the Lakers have a gigantic chip on their shoulder, and it's on Luka's shoulder. And that's the bet for the Lakers. That's the argument for the Lakers, that they pissed off Luka so much that he'll go on a heater, and the Lakers will make the finals. And that's not a horrible bet to make. On the East, I think the Knicks are fun, but that's about it. I think they're going to run out of gas. And it's how I see the Clippers, to be honest with you. They're fun. I think they'll run out of gas. Milwaukee will go as far as Giannis will carry them, and the Lakers will go as far as Luka will take them. The Magic are a lot of fun. The Pistons are a lot of fun, but they're not ready yet. The Warriors can be a lot of fun, and the T-Wolves can be a lot of fun. Not this season. The T-Wolves not because they're not ready, or the Warriors not because they're ready. I just don't think they're good enough. The Magic and Pistons, they're not ready yet. They're not good enough either, but they're also really young. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at with the NBA. So weekly NBA pods from here on out. So stay tuned for those. So that's where we're at. Enjoy the basketball that's ahead of us, and that'll be it. My final thought of the day. Real Madrid beat City today, and as they beat Manchester City, and Mbappe had himself a game. One of the things that was amazing about seeing him was just how confident and how ready he looked to just take the stage. And my final thought is that whenever a guy joins a new team, and I'm thinking this for Luka, let's understand that it's gonna take time, and it could take some time. And it could take some time for a guy to get ready. Because one of the things that we see with Mbappe is that it took time. And in the beginning, he was struggling, and there was a lot of pressure. And eventually he got it. Eventually he was able to put it together, and he was fine. And so next time there's a guy that moves to a big team, before we dump him, before we add all stuff, let's give it a few months. Let's give it some time. And that's what I got. That's my final thought. So, that's it. Enjoy the pod. Thank you. I'll talk to you on Friday with David. That's the pod. Thank you to Angel. Thank you to Triumph. Thank you to you for listening. There's a podcast. Anywhere you get pods, please rate, review, subscribe. There's a YouTube channel, Instagram, the whole thing. Check us out. Christian Worldview Wednesdays comes back next week. Harry comes back Sunday. And my weekly pod with David. So stay tuned for all of that. The NBA pods will be on Friday as well. So just FYI. Roll call. We're at with the roll call. We'll start with Let's start with the Lakers. Let's go Lakers. Luka unleashed tonight versus the Hornets. We'll see how that goes. Let's go Lakers. And then Viva La Máquina, who's just, kind of going through the motions of the season so far. And the team is going through the motions, and it's kind of early. They're filling themselves out. We'll see how it all turns out. But Viva La Máquina. Glory, glory, Man United. My frustrating child. Just come on, guys, get it together. And finally, Hala Madrid. ¿Cómo no te voy a querer? What a team. Valverde, Federico, amazing. Jude, Mbappe, Rodrigo, the unsung hero of Real Madrid. Vini doing his thing. Asensio. Everybody. Shout out to them. Beat City. And, but guys, let's replicate this in La Liga. Can we? Shall we? Please? Jeez, man. Bahala Madrid. And, yeah. I'll talk to you on Friday. The Arizona Podcast is brought to you by Triumph Protective Coatings, a flooring company that specializes in epoxy flooring and concrete resurfacing systems. They speak Spanish. They're in the LA area, and they are an amazing company to work with. They have awesome customer service, and they give you honest quotes with great work, and I couldn't recommend them enough. So use the promo code ARROWSUP. You get a 15% off on your next project. So call them, reach out to them. You can find them on the internet, triumphcoatingsca.com, and you can request a free quote and all that fun stuff. You can follow them on Instagram, triumph_coatings, and they do speak Spanish, and they do great work, like I said. So check them out. Promo code ARROWSUP, 15% off your next project.